I'm getting trolled by Corey in the chat already. That's not cool. I'm going to bring you up anyways. All right. Well, that was fun. Welcome in, everybody, across the ACL to our presentation, Unlocking Sponsorship and Potential in Livestreams, Gears, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I am Chase Hunter, live stream producer extraordinaire, joined with my co-host, Corey Russell.
But yes, hello, I'm here.
Yes. Oh, I'm on the other side on the presentation. So yeah, so it's different. So I'm watching it here on the computer. Anyways, I'm having a good time. Corey, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm probably yelling right now, but I'm doing good, you know.
Yeah.
Getting ready for Worlds and stuff, so just working on stuff for that, and yeah.
Sweet. You got a tea time tonight. So you're gonna have to bail on us pretty soon, but we got you here for a little while. So we start this thing out with a quote, apparently, right? Is that the deal, everyone? We start with a quote.
That's what I've seen.
Anybody gonna help me out here? Okay, so I got a quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. We gotta remove that from stage and put this one up. Where's it go? There it is. More, better.
Classic words from
by Jake Brannon. Classic. Yes.
The live stream classic.
Yes. So anyways, let's get this back to this. No, I don't like that one. This is the one I like. Okay, cool. So anyway, so we're going to talk about some live streaming stuff. A little background on me. I'm also the area manager for the ACL South. Prior to this, I was the Southwest Conference director. And at that point, I gave some sort of presentation like this about sponsorship. So I'm stealing some of those slides because I'm being a little lazy. When I was running big events, I was always looking for sponsors. You know, I need to pay for these big events. I wanted to not have to come out of pocket with all of this. I wanted to be able to afford everything up front. So I put together a big sponsorship pocket that I gave to sponsors, and it was full of all kinds of fun stuff. And things that I did for the sponsors was a variety of things. I did lane cards where for, I think it was like $50 to $100, something like that. We'd give you a lane card and put the lane number on it and just set out there on the court. For a little bit more money, we would have board mats put out. And then we also did custom boards, and I did signs around the events. And, for some sponsors, if they ponied up enough money, then we would name the whole event after them. So one of my sponsors, shout out Mark Prosick, Texas Star Fire Systems. He did a lot for me back in the day. He sponsored me and sponsored Eddie Grindersleeve quite a bit. Shout out Eddie. And so he was somebody that I met through cornhole, actually. He came to play at one of my events at my bar and got to talking, and, he came on board. And so as my relationship with him grew, the more he kind of sponsored. And I remember at one point he said that he actually got a job for this big contractor in Texas outside of Austin, because they were watching cornhole on TV and they saw Eddie Grindersleeve with the Texas Star Fire hat. And so they called Mark and like, hey, I think we just saw you on ESPN with the hat, and so that's a pretty cool story. So sponsors have an opportunity to make a lot of money from this as well. So it's a good fit if you can figure it out. However, as I grew in my events and started adding live stream, I've noticed that the live stream was really kind of a great way of pushing sponsorship because, I've got like 100, 200 people at these, big conference events that you can see all this stuff on the court, or hundreds of people watching this live as I'm streaming it, and then the thousands of views that are residual when people go back on YouTube and watch it later on. So it was a real opportunity for me to kind of expand that. And so there's different ways of doing that. One thing that I used to do was I would play an ad card in between games, and I'd run through some different cards. Like this is one for Texas Star. I made this one for them as well. And it was really simple. It was really easy to put these things together and just play some music in the background. And then let's see, where's that terrible video I made? And then after a while, I actually made a commercial.
Texas Star Fire Systems is your one source for fire protection and life safety, servicing all of Texas.
Yes.
From the little things
Corey's
like
already
spare
ripped
sprinkler
this thing
heads
apart,
or
so.
fire alarm panel batteries to large-scale contracts, including design,
Go ahead, you can tell everybody.
installation, inspection, testing,
Good
and
ad.
maintenance.
It's a good idea.
Texas Star Fire Systems has you protected.
Give your
Our goal
your sponsors
is
some
your
screen
peace
time.
of mind.
That's right. So it was relatively simple to put this together, right? Because it's just stock footage, right? And some music, stock music, and some graphics. And then, of course, I had my wife do the voiceover. And so, boom, commercial, no problem. So that's a great way to get sponsors involved. Corey, you have some things I think that you use on our streams with the ACL to get sponsors involved, correct?
Yes, I mean commercials are a good way to. I know, a lot of people don't like watching ads and stuff, but it's a great way to show off sponsors, and especially because they will have their own ads. So always ask your sponsors if they have a commercial. A lot more cornhole companies and stuff are getting commercials together, and so we're able to air those on our streams with our bigger sponsors like our Duos, Nuts commercials, and Kubota commercials and stuff like that. So that's a good way to between games, so you don't have dead air and stuff, or you're not just sitting on a be right back screen or anything like that. Some for people to stay tuned, stay watching. Also, you can bring other elements into your stream that and basically anything, like people could sponsor like lower thirds, PPR checks. We have PPR checks. We could do like shot of the game, shot of the day kind of sponsors.
Snack Cam, my favorite.
Yeah, Snack Cam. Like Caddy Sack did a fit check cam.
That's right. I remember that. That was a lot of fun.
This year in Michigan, because they're up from up there. But
that was cool. I like that. We have the ad reads too, where we just put the PNG up on the screen, and we just have the commentators read off their ad read, which is fun. I just love throwing it up there. Corey made it so it was random, so you never know what was going up. So he'd throw it up and just throw it at Jake, like, "Here comes an ad read."
Yeah, but I made some buttons to make it not random anymore. So
yeah, I know that was fun.
But
yeah, that's
lots of elements. Just whatever you can think of, like replay sponsors. And you don't just have to reach out to cornhole companies. Like there's tons of stuff out there that like little companies, like all the time on YouTube I see like headphone sponsorships and like just other random sponsorships that don't even have to do with the content at all. But,
Yeah.
you know, they're willing to give you some money just for some small ads or like an ad read or something. Like, then there you go. There's some extra money in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, most of my sponsors came from, you know, players that you know, their boss or they owned a business or they worked for somebody. And, you know, I have plumbing companies and all kinds of different things as sponsors. But, you know, there was, yeah, a lot of great cornhole sponsors like Flux, shout out Zach, and BG, shout out Rich, you know, they were great. I remember actually one event that I did, I actually set up a couple streaming courts, and one of them I had streaming directly to BG's Facebook page. That's another option too. If you get a good cornhole sponsor involved, you don't even have to stream to your page. You can stream to their page, and that will bring them so many views, and that's definitely worth quite a bit. Bringing people media attention is great. So yeah, I think that's all we got on sponsorship. Covered that pretty solidly, wouldn't you say, Mr. Russell?
Yes.
Yes. We have fun. Okay, so
See, this is why we're behind the cameras and not on the
yes, nobody
cameras.
wants to
'Cause
listen to us. We just talk about randomness, you know.
yeah.
Okay, so next I'm going to show my layout, simple layout for how I set up cameras and how you can set up cameras. I'm not going to go super in depth with like OBS, but definitely you can reach out to us and we can help you get started. But OBS is definitely the way to go if you're going to start streaming. It's a free software. It's pretty user friendly, and there's plenty of people out there that are willing to help you get started with it. OBS, otherwise known as Open Broadcast Software, it's free, it's great, and most people use that. We use vMix now on the ACL live stream. It is a paid account, so it costs us money, but it gives us a lot more flexibility. But still, you can get away with just about everything on OBS. So anyway, so what we're looking at right now is, you know, your basic cornhole court. So you've got the two boards, maybe player mats. So let's see here. You know, we're going to throw in an 8-foot table, put it off to the side there. As far as power, you know, you don't need anything special. You know, 110 is fine. Just make sure that you're going into a power strip because you're going to run a bunch of things off of that. And as far as internet, I like to have a gigabyte, but that's not necessary. 30 over 30 will get you streaming on one stream. Corey tells me that this is fine, but I disagree. I think you need like mega fiber internet for a stream.
I mean, if your sponsor will pay for that, sure.
There you go. There you go. And then let's throw up the laptop too. So you got the laptop, you've got the power, you've got the internet. Let's go ahead and add some cameras, right? So, you know, when we're talking about like something simple, you know, the best thing to do is, you know, you got 2 tripods, probably score towers, right? Because that's the easiest thing. You throw up a couple cameras and wire them to your computer. Voila, there you go. You're streaming. You've got everything you need right here. But what I argue is I think it's actually better to put the cameras right here closer to you, wire them up right to the computer. They're closer to you. They're easier to access. And this way, if you have any problems or anything, you can get right to them really quickly. When shooting these, you kind of shoot across them. So you use the left camera to shoot right and the right camera to shoot left. And this will give you a pretty good picture. So there you go. There's your side cams. Now, if we're going to expand this a little bit more, add 2 more cameras, then we want to get the overhead cams involved. So at this point, you can get 2 really big tripods with extender arms. I've got a link for something from Amazon that's relatively cheap. I think it was $80 per tripod.
With
You need to buy some.
with my setup like this, I used two like pretty heavy duty light stands, and then those have an adapter on top, and then you can just run an extension arm off there.
Yeah,
and
that works.
Those work pretty well.
The ones I got were pretty heavy duty. They can hold a couple things. So if you're just running overhead cams on them, then yeah, you probably want to go Corey's route. You probably don't need like a super heavy duty tripod. But either way, I would recommend putting sandbags on it. Oh, look, Michael Gonzalez decided to show up late as always. Is he trying to jump in here? Trying to ruin my stream. All right. So anyway, we got the extenders. Let's put the cams up there. Wire them. Oh, he's got me on the shot clock. That's messed up. You know, I'm in the flow here, Michael. Come on. You're messing up my thing. So we got the wires. We got the overhead cameras. Boom. Now, if you can afford it, not everybody can, and you know, whatever. I like to use truss systems. Truss is the way to go. Now, I have a picture of a truss that I bought on Amazon. It's nothing.
Know what? You take some of that sponsor money and you put a little bit of it away every event, and then you put it in your trust fund.
There you go. I like it.
And then you can buy trusses.
Right. This is not a super expensive truss. This thing cost, I think it was $160 for each one. So, you know, it's still under $400 for two of them. You put one at either end, and it breaks down like tripods. It's super simple, and you can put a screen along the back of it and throw your sponsor up there. Boom, there you go. Sponsor paid for on the thing. Okay, getting back to this. So yeah, so now we've got the overhead cams, we've got the two cameras, and this is probably about all you're going to get out of your USB cameras, right? I find that unless you have like a super computer, like a really nice computer, you're not going to get a whole lot more than 4 USB cameras, because at that point they start dropping, the images start dropping, and you'll have a lot of problems.
I will butt in here. I would highly suggest not running more than 4 USB cameras. And if you want to add a 5th and be crazy and go against everything that me and Chase have said, and we are 100% correct. But just always try dropping the resolution of all your cameras in OBS, because that's a big thing. Like, people are trying to have them set. Like, if they have 4 Brios, they have them set at like 1080p 60.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
Just try dropping them down to 720, and then I mean, you don't really want to go any lower than that. I'd rather take away the 5th camera than go lower than 720p on the cameras.
Yeah, exactly.
Even at 1080p, those, you know, it's not the best image, but it's good. But yeah, just always try adjusting the resolution.
And since cornhole is an action sport, you always want to keep it at 60 frames per second. Yeah, you never want to go below 30 frames. You can go down on the resolution, but keep the FPS at 60 if you can. So anyways, so 4 cameras is the max. So after this, if you want to get more cameras involved, then what I recommend is, let me go ahead and disappear this, is getting yourself a nice A10. A10 Black Magic ISO. And I think I've got a picture here. Maybe I didn't load it up. I didn't. I was not prepared. Where is my presentation folder?
Michael, pull the flag.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Here it is. So the A10 ISO, I'll get a link for this as well. This is great because you can put in a bunch of PTZ cameras into it. Ah, man, he's flagging me. God, come on. Timeout. I got 4 timeouts. So you can see at the top here, you've got a bunch of SDI ports. You can plug in a bunch of cameras, and then you just use a selector to select what camera you want to show. So typically what I do is I plug in all my cameras into this, but I keep my overhead cameras on the USB so that I can always have those on the screen, the left or the right overhead camera. And then I switch between the other cameras. And then there's also a function where you can have a split screen of two of the cameras. What's that? What ME? Is that what I'm?
Super Source.
Super Source. There it is.
That's only going to be on the ATEM Mini Extreme or
Yeah,
ATEM
no,
Mini
it's
Pro and ATEM Mini Extreme.
right.
Because
So
there
this
is
is
an ATEM Mini that has 4 inputs, and
Yep.
that one doesn't have the Super Source, but it is a
Right.
4-camera switcher.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a picture of it here. I do have it in a video I'm going to show later, so I'll point it out there. But yeah, if you want to do the Super Source where it's 2 cameras at once, you need this bigger one, which is the ISO Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That is such a low res picture. I can't believe you let me show that picture up there. That was terrible.
You set
was
those
awful.
Brios on like 180p, dude.
All right, so getting back to this. So now we're going to add our PTZ cameras because I love PTZ cameras. So we've got the let's see, let's bring this up. So we've got the 2 off the center, the mid-court cams, and we also have the player cams on the very ends. And so the player cams are our main cams. So we use, oops, wrong one. So I use this as viewing the players on the left with the overhead, and this as players viewing players on the right. And then I can also move the cameras to kind of look in. It's a little bit more difficult. It's kind of weird angle. So what I use is the mid-court cameras to kind of exchange those views. And these are great because I can look at the mid-range and then I can look at the short range on it. So I can get all kinds of different views on these cameras.
So you could do a mix of these
to
where you have 2 Brios as the overhead cameras.
Yep.
And then if you wanted to go a route without the ATEM Mini, but still have PTZ cameras, you could get 2 cam links, which are Elgato, and those are HDMI to USB. So you would just want to make sure that your PTZ cameras are or HDMI as well, because some of them come just SDI, some of them are just HDMI, and some of them are combo both.
Yeah.
That's probably a little more expensive. But
probably.
yeah.
I mean, you're probably better off buying like the mini Blackmagic at that point. If you're just going to add 4 cameras anyways, it's probably cheaper to do that. But I think that the mini is only like 200 and some bucks. It's not terrible.
Yeah, you're right.
$300, something like that.
Because then if you upgraded in the future and got 2 more PTZs, then you'd have 2 more spots for cameras. So then you could have 6 cameras with still using the.
You're gonna get a flag thrown on me again, so we gotta move this along. I can't have microphone flags on me.
Keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling.
My bad.
So yeah, so this is basically a pretty simple 6-camera setup, and this is you can get this with the mini Blackmagic, the 2 overhead cameras, and you're good there. And then, of course, if you're like me and you just want to get crazy with it, well, then you can add more cameras. You can add yourself a little truss camera there. You could also add a bag flight on each side. And then the dog eye cameras. Oh, wait, there they go. There they are. Look at that. That's beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's not that many. That's totally doable. Throw in some wire ramps to make it look pretty. Boom. There you go. Or you
Nice.
can do this. This is our setup for the Myrtle Beach, the one stream to rule them all. Should I show them the madness? You don't need to see that.
No, that's too much. Well, Chase, this looks like a good time for me to hop off and you to
Yep.
take the rest of this, lead the ship into the horizon.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Russell?
Just if you guys have live streaming questions or anything, I'm available. I'm gonna give out my email. Just Corey at iplaycornhole.com. Hit me
That's
up
right.
if you have any questions. You know, I may not respond right away, but especially
He
around
won't.
worlds and stuff.
No.
But
He won't respond right away.
after worlds, I'll have some time and can talk live streaming and stuff. If you guys want to know any questions,
Cool.
so just shoot me an email.
I'm gonna show. Should I show the?
Or if you want to share any of your streams and want
Yes.
some tips or anything, like
Yes.
yeah,
Love to watch the streams.
Send them to me and Chase. I've been discovering a lot of local streams on YouTube lately. It's been popping up in my algorithm, and there's been some good stuff. You know, like I like watching other streams and seeing what's going on, seeing what people are doing, and yeah, because that's where I started. You know, that's where we both started. We were just doing random cornhole streams for our local clubs or national, or I mean, state events or regionals or whatever. And yeah, now we're here talking to you guys about it. So definitely share what you got or any questions or anything. Corey at iplaycornhole.com.
There you go. Thanks, Corey. I'm gonna show this surprise here on a podcast.
Talking about sponsors, bro. I got the hat.
Are you getting paid for that hat?
Oh yeah, always.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it. All right. Well, then as I lead us out, I'm just going to show some videos because, you know, I can. I've got a couple different things to show. Let's see. I've got my setup from a conference I did in close to Corpus Christi. And you can spot some pros in there. If you're good, you could spot Braden Wilson. He's a lot smaller in this video than he is in person now. So here we go. Whoops. No.
Oh, hello. How's it going? Hey, Chase. Welcome to my live stream setup. What you see here is a 2-quart live stream that I run. I run it with a 4 PTZ camera setup. I run all my 4 PTZ cameras through this. This is a Blackmagic A10 S.
So you can see here, this is the ISO, the big one, and right next to it is the smaller one. And that's the one that we were talking about earlier. It doesn't have the super source where you can combine cameras, but it is a 4-camera switcher that is half the price of the large ISO.
TI Extreme ISO, and you can see my PTZ cameras. There's one there, and I have another one looking at the other side of the court. Come over here. I've got 3. These cameras control all the action of all the players. I'm able to move the cameras around, look around the room, look at all sides of the courts, close-ups on boards, and everything else. In addition to that, I also have the ATEM Mini Blackmagic, which I run all 4 of my overhead cameras in. I can switch all these cameras right here just by pressing these buttons and selecting different views. Here you can kind of see them without the backdrops. They stretch up. I have an overhead arm. Overhead cameras over each extended truss. It gives me an overhead shot where I can switch between each court when I have a different game that I want to bring up. My very powerful PC is a quad core. I also use my little laptop to keep up with commentating, broadcaster. This does all my audio work that I need to do. I'll bring in all my different announcers, the mics here. I have the headphones here, and I also have the different special effects and licensed music I can play. I have my second computer set up, and I'm running this live stream on a completely different channel. So I had 2 different channels running, 3 courts running all at once. Quite the events. I definitely have a crew of broadcasters and a crew of production assistants for this. But it turns out to be a really great event, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching it as well.
Yeah.
So, again, thanks for tuning in and checking out my setup.
Looking good, Chase. Cheers, buddy.
And this is my setup from Court 3 Worlds in 2023. Yeah.
Hello there. How's it going? Chase Hunter here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I am live streaming all week at the ACL World Championships. I'm going to take a moment here to kind of show you my setup that I do here on Court 3. I run an 8-camera, 1-court setup. This is not the best camera angle for you guys to see, so I'm going to switch over to camera 2 for you guys. How's it going? This is where I run all my headphones and audio. I've got 3 different headset mics that I run with my commentators here. I've got a 4th and 2 sets of headphones over there where I have post-game interviews.
Talking about me and my glasses and stuff and my flip.
This screen right here is my program screen. All 6 of my cameras that you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have my program screen right there. Over here, this is my OBS screen. This is what I'm putting out to the public. I've got the left side, my preview, the right side, my program, and that's what's going live right now. Over here, you can see my hard drive. This is a NUC Intel PC, and I've got my camera control right here. This controls all 4 of my PTZ cameras, and then right here is my Blackmagic A10. I can switch between different camera views by pressing these buttons. I have 6 different pictures, 6 different cameras to choose from, and I can choose if I want to cut, if I want to fade, or if I want to mix them together. And there's one angle, there's another angle, there's another angle of me, all these angles of me. My keyboard and my mouse to help me control the computer, as well as a laptop right here that I use to follow all the comments on YouTube. These are my overhead cameras, Brios. I have them on a extended mount. It comes off the truss, which is hidden behind this screen. Also on this truss is one of my PTZ cameras. This is PTZ camera number 4. Camera 2 moving there. And I'm going to cut over to PTZ camera number 1. Plus the Brio camera mounted on that arm, which is also on the truss, hidden behind my curtain. I have 2 dog eye cameras, one right there, and another camera closer to this court on the other side, right here. And you can see it right here. Now these cameras give me a board view. This one sees the left board, while the other camera on the other side views the other board. These cameras allow me a different angle than what you can normally see on live stream.
Malone lets it go, and I don't think any of them did. That is insane. Nothing holding them up. They're just jammed up in the hole. That is unlucky for Kyle Malone.
Yeah.
So there's 4 points for Alec Ryan.
So thank you for joining us. I hope this is very informative. It's my pleasure to bring you the best live stream possible. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love to share my information. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Uh-oh. There we go. Pressing the wrong button. So that was 2 years ago from the 2023 Worlds. And then I did another video, shout out Russell, in Colorado for the signature number 3. And this was a great event because we got to use the LED screens and we got to show the finals. And so we really put the live stream front and center for that event. So I was really proud of that. So I made a nice little video of our setup from there too. So you can see here on the right side, that's where I do all the camera work and the camera switching. I take care of a lot of the instant replay. I direct a lot of the action. I've got the multi-view cameras. I've also got the laptop up there. Corey's on the left. He's doing a lot of the production, communicating with ESPN, doing a lot of graphics. He's also doing the replays and, of course, putting together the end packages. And he's also the audio engineer, controlling all the audio between us, the commentators, and, of course, the other end of ESPN. And then up there on the stage above us, that's where the commentators are, and they're set up. Pretty simple stuff there. I know we didn't get into a lot of the audio stuff on this stream, but I do have one slide that I can show you guys that might help as far as audio goes. Really, all you need is a Rodecaster Pro 2 is what I have. It's great, does everything. You saw it in the other video. And then just some Audio-Technica headsets. And you can plug those directly in the back of that and then use the USB-C cable from the Rodecaster to plug into the computer, and voila, you got audio. This is definitely the simplest way to do it. And it looks great, sounds great, and so it's the way to go. And that is my presentation. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, you can reach out to Corey. Don't reach out to me. Just kidding. You can reach out to me. Chase at iPlayCornhole.com. Corey, again, is Corey at iPlayCornhole.com. And you can hit us both up with any questions. If you want any links to any of the equipment that we have, I'm more than happy to send that. And yeah, and then that's it. I guess I can end the stream. I might go out on a fun little thing here I created. Corey's going to kill me for showing this, but I'm going to do it anyways. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll see you on the stream.
Welcome to my first ever podcast that I've ever done in my whole life. And I'm calling it Surprise. You're on a podcast. And it's going to be fabulous. I think I'm just going to rope people into this and see how it goes. So let me get our first guest on the show.
What's up?
Welcome to Surprise! You're on a podcast.
Oh, I am. That's pretty awesome.
I can't even hear him.
You can't hear me?
I've already messed up my settings already. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, messing up my first episode already.
Here we go.
Oh, I can hear you through my monitor.
What are you going through, the Roadcaster?
Yeah. So I must be recording you because I've got Zoom recording you. So it only makes sense that your audio is being recorded. I just couldn't hear you.
Oh, well, is your computer audio set to your Roadcaster?
That's a good question. Let's try this. Okay. Can you say something now?
Check.
Oh, okay. Now I got you.
Okay.
But
Sweet.
now I don't know if you're being recorded through the Zoom chat.
Probably.
You would think so, right? I'd
Yeah.
have to still be recording.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what do you think of my new podcast show?
It's pretty cool. I'm surprised.
So my premise is I just invite people to this chat and I just say, surprise, you're on a podcast. And then I ask them a series of questions. And then we
Okay.
send out another invite link randomly and we ask that person a series of questions.
Sounds I don't know. Sounds surprising, I guess.
Well, unfortunately, I haven't really thought this out a whole lot. Well, should I ask you a series of questions?
No.
All right,
I'll
question
ask.
one.
What's the question?
If you had to choose only one for the rest of your life, would you pick wine, coffee, or liquor?
Wine for sure.
Wine over coffee and liquor. No more
Yeah.
coffee, no more liquor, only wine.
I don't drink coffee, only if we go out to coffee spots.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
a tea drinker.
Okay. Well, let me rephrase the question.
Wine. Wine for sure.
Okay. Rephrasing the question again. If you could only pick one, would it be tea, red wine, or white wine?
Red wine for sure.
Red wine
Yeah, that's tough, but red wine always wins.
always wins, even over tea, everything else.
It goes better with more stuff than white wine.
Type of wine, like Merlot, Malbec, Cabernet, Pinot.
I do enjoy Malbecs from Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
Argentina has a lot of good wine. I like Argentinian wine.
Okay. We're getting to know you on this podcast. I feel like it's a success already.
Yep.
I have one more question, and then
Okay.
on. I don't have another question. Actually, I lied.
That's very fair. I was totally not prepared.
That's the point of the show,
A
right?
surprise, I'm on a podcast.
Right. Well, there's our first episode.
I mean, it's gonna get 1 million hits. I know it is. It's so riveting and so good. People are gonna be like, wow, that was the best podcast I've ever heard.
Yeah.